Swordsman of Landstar is another one of those cards in the original anime that makes you scratch your head. A weak vanilla monster certainly had at least some logic behind it in the very first season, but Joey continues to use cards like Battle Warrior and Swordsman of Landstar deep into the show. Swordsman of Landstar at least has some saving grace as it works with the anime effects of Graceful Dice, and also as shown in the Grand Championship arc has its own support. Swordsman of Landstar himself even received a retrain in the early days of synchro monsters known as Comrade Swordsman. So today, we're going to bring all that to life while further fleshing out the Landstar archetype. The premise of this deck is based on the anime in that you have a few of those weak vanilla Landstar monsters who when working together can access very powerful effects. This is also another one of the archetypes like Celtic Guard and Battle Raider that focuses around the battle phase. We of course start with the rest of the anime bunch: Brigadier, Knight, and Grappler of Landstar, 3 vanillas who have 900, 1000, and 1000 attack respectively. So significantly better than the original Swordsman, but still not much to work with until we get into the extra deck monsters. Our Xyz monster is Captain of Landstar, who takes 2 level 3 warriors, including at least 1 Landstar monster to summon. He, like the other extra deck monsters will show, has the effect where on summon you can special summon 1 level 3 Landstar monster from your grave. His unique ability is to detach 1 material to add 1 Landstar spell or trap from your deck to your hand. The next is the Synchro Lieutenant of Landstar, a level 9 Synchro who requires a Landstar tuner, i.e. the Comrade. In addition to the summoning effect, he also has the ability to absorb the attack of all other Landstar monsters you control, then make attacks equal to the number of Landstar monsters you have during the battle phase in which you activate his effect. But any damage inflicted is halved and your other Landstar monsters can't attack. Also, you can only control 1 of him. The final one is the Contact Fusion General of Landstar, who requires 4 Landstar monsters to summon, then gets you 1 back from the grave as well. He provides all of your Landstar monsters immunity from your opponent's card effects, and he can't be targeted for an attack while you control another Landstar monster. So kind of putting your opponent in a sort of soft lock as far as protecting your monsters from battle and by card effects. Our spells start with a handful that come directly from the show but have been modified in one way or another. This starts with Landstar Forces, which allows you to special summon as many level 3 Landstar monsters with different names from your hand in attack position, and if you summon at least 3, they are granted immunity from targeting and destruction until the end of the turn. The deck has ways of loading up your hand with Landstar monsters, which we'll get into in a second, but this card is very helpful in getting out those bosses that require 3 or 4 monsters. Next is Landstar Shot, a significantly souped up version of the anime counterpart. This card grants a Landstar monster 600 attack, and if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, your opponent takes damage equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. Next we have 3 cards that reference some cards Joey regularly uses, starting with Sword and Shield, a modified version of Shield and Sword. Sword and Shield lets you switch the original attack and defense of 1 Landstar monster you control with the original attack and defense of an opponent's monster. Plus, it's always treated as a Landstar card, so it can be searched out by the captain. Next we have the 2 dice, Grateful Dice and Skeleton Dice, based on, of course, Graceful and Skull. Grateful can be activated if you control a Landstar monster. You roll a die, and if the result is more than the number of cards you have, you can special summon Landstar monsters with different names from your hand and or grave up to the number rolled, otherwise destroy all cards you control. So this card can be sort of sacky, but that is what makes it a Joey card. Skeleton, on the other hand, looks for a die roll that is less than or equal to the number of Landstar monsters you control, thus allowing you to destroy that many cards your opponent has, otherwise all of your monsters are destroyed. So this one rewards you for having a field presence. Alright, now we get into the fully custom support, starting with the draw card, Cards of the Landstar. This has the basic effect of discarding 1 Landstar monster to draw 2, but then it also grants your on-field Landstar monsters 500 attack for every Landstar monster you draw with this effect. And finally, we have the field spell, Landstar. This card has the continuous effect that grants Landstar monsters half the original attack of the monster they are battling during damage calculation. It also has 2 searching effects. The first, where you can discard a card to add 2 Landstar monsters from your deck to your hand. The second, where if a Landstar monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, the control of that Landstar monster can add 1 Landstar spell or trap from their deck to their hand. Now we get to the traps, of which there are 2. First is Landstar Defenses, which is the flip side of Landstar Forces, and that allows you to special summon as many level 3 Landstar monsters with different names from your graveyard in defense position. And if you summon 3 or more, you skip the battle phase of the current turn. And finally, we have the counter-trap Landstar Counterattack, which can be activated when your opponent declares an attack. You special summon 1 Landstar monster from your deck, then banish the attacking monster, and then during the end phase, bounce the summoned Landstar monster to your hand. So that is the Landstar archetype. Hope you enjoyed. Let us know your thoughts and feedback below, and be sure to like and subscribe as we get into the last of the Yugi cards.